To explain how the ESL Impact rulebook works, it's head-to-head. And the reason why we're talking about all these crazy permutations is because, as you mentioned, FURIA win, they beat MIBR, Atrix win to stay against 4 Magic. That should kind of be a given, hopefully. That means FURIA beat MIBR, but MIBR have beaten Atrix, but Atrix beat FURIA. So it's a head-to-head that goes round in circles. It doesn't give a true winner. So it goes to map won and map loss, which is why we're talking about like if a team wins 2-0 or a team wins 2-1. But we can get into a lot of those conversations in a bit because FURIA, the reigning champions, whose crown has been slipping in the regional season, now with their backs against the wall, the final boss, MIBR, they're on their opponent's map pick, and on the CT side, they have to hold down an A push.
Already Gabs has got a beautiful opener here, but they've allowed their oh my god, Car. Okay, Queen. We apologize for the slander that we put down at the start of the show. To get 3 individual USP taps like that to ensure not only a pistol round, but no bomb planted. Absolute respect put on the name. And it's crazy that 1 game lost has put FURIA, all season, has put FURIA in a position where they might not make it to land. But if they can keep up, I mean, it's only round number 1, but it's looked good so far.
It's really funny that we mentioned the pre-show that Car, who's normally the highest rated player in the regular seasons, who since like literally recorded on HLTV has been number 1 or number 2 or whatever, is having one of the worst seasons of her career in this region. The lowest rated player in this event going into this head-to-head, and yet she just drops that. Like, that is ridiculous. That is crazy from a player who has simply put been struggling this season. So if that's something to come, if that's a testament for the future, I'm terrified for MIBR. But currently, FURIA have to defend this A-bomb site again.
Oh, and they've just baited the entirety of MIBR into Gabs' sightline, so she's going to get a nice little opening pick here. Danny getting a bit cheeky, trying to catch out Lulitens, but Lulitens will slip away with her life. Surviving here is important, but they know that she's nearby, so might get a little bit cheeky, a little bit crazy on the entrance. Laying down some smokes here to give them some space, but FURIA have already made that rotation. They've read into this very, very quickly, and they have a massive advantage in the round, not just in terms of the weaponry, but the numbers as well. Flash over the top. Poppins makes her way in on towards the site, but Izza ready and waiting. That's the IGL that we were waiting for, but Olga, she still managed to bring back 2. She's making this contestable, but cannot beat out Bazina. It's another multi-kill, a different player this time around, but we're keeping things clean for FURIA.
Yeah, it's just a rough one for MIBR where they have an idea, they have a plan, they go for it, but then they lose a player on the entry, so it all just gets a bit messy, and then they're not really able to stabilize from that point. So currently on their map pick, FURIA will be taking a nice start on the defense. And as mentioned, this has been a rocky FURIA. Haven't ever watched a game against a good team that I've been confident on. So hopefully we'll be looking for a confident start. And for Kara, it's all about just farming those ecos and getting that confidence. Or not.
Ooh. The force from MIBR may have been a little bit questionable, but now these pistols are absolutely singing. The aggression starts to pay off a little bit. Not enough to actually get them around, but it gives them the space they need to finally get that plant. Obviously, forcing in the previous round meant that this round was just going to be pistols, and they do a decent amount, you know, a little bit of damage done there, but Bazina also gets a little multi-kill for herself. 3 rounds, 3 different players with 3 kills. It's been a bit of a star-studded start for FURIA.
I'm actually quite surprised, by the way, that Ancient was the pick, and we didn't necessarily see the Dust 2 come out. I guess that would have been a pretty even playing field, but MIBR, they've been all over the place with their picks. Inferno, Ancient, Dust 2, Mirage, they've really been everywhere this season, keeping FURIA on their toes, you know? What are we gonna pick? So I was actually surprised to see the Ancient, but I'm all here for it. I'm happy, and MIBR on the first gun round. Need to be careful, Iza I thought she was going to try and get aggressive and walk through that smoke, but with no red room smoke, it's coming in. Bazina tries to fight through it. This is very, very brave from FURIA as they try to get ahead of the utility. And it's Olga's time for a hat trick.
Oh man, the timing on that was so unfortunate. It was literally, as you mentioned, the red room smoke that she swings out. She's now gotten a 4K. There's a world here where she does actually manage to get this ace as well. Not a single kill on the board for FURIA after getting so many consecutive multi-frags. It's all down to Car now to try and at least keep this expensive. I think the possibility of clutching the round is slowly slipping away. Does she check the close left angle? Of course she doesn't. And it's Poppins that cleans it up. And my God, coming through with 4 players still alive at the end of that one. And Poppins picks up the AWP as well. Yeah, okay, throw it away. That's a good call. I didn't see a world in which they suddenly start playing double AWP on the T side. It would be fiercely entertaining, but maybe not the right call.
I don't hate the play from yeah, like, I can't say I dislike the play from FURIA, but as I said, it's like, it is just very bold. They try and fight ahead of the utility. Either does come through that cave smoke. There's no red room smoke, so it is actually a pretty good opportunity because it's like, that could have gone one or two ways. We either come out of that round that I'm sitting here saying, how could MIBR just be sitting in mid with no util down in red room? But in this case, even though they did make that mistake, it works out for them, so it's not an issue. And MIBR post their first round, so FURIA maybe need to respect the wackier plays, as I might think.
Well, it's been a quick turnaround now for MIBR. Let's see if they can keep that momentum up now as FURIA's money's taking a little bit of a nosedive after that one. They're still able to buy in relatively well here. We still got that glass cannon-esque AWP from Car. Oh, Bazina trying to get a little bit cheeky here. Does some serious damage to the smoke. Poppins surviving by the skin of her teeth, and she's gonna be forced to, she's either gonna be a bait play or she has to play super, super passively now. 1 HP and a dream. But that's done a lot to buy FURIA a little bit more time, and it's forced MIBR to pull back a bit, rethink what the positioning is going to be. They've actually handed that AWP over to Poppins. So that's not Sonic. What is Bogdan's Law? Yeah.
The most mid NA player ever. You were just saying that, like, look, FURIA, it buys them some time, but for MIBR, they're actually happy to give that because look at the utility. FURIA have no util whatsoever, and they have no information. So they have to go for this gamble play, but they're allowed to do it because Car's got the AWP on A, and you're telling all of her teammates, stay on B, stay on B. So as Danny fakes out with utility, Car, who's already got one, is going to be tested, and there's no rotations.
See if this has been a little bit overcooked. Nice shot there from Car.
Oh my God.
Reaggresses for the second through the fire and the flames. She'll even take a little bit more damage, hoping that somebody will give her something else to play with. A 3K from Car. Gotten every single kill so far in this round, and she has been a hero. So good to see her stepping up again. We kind of upped the matchup between Car and Younger. And of course, Younger, well, they're on the T side. And they've been shut out of so many of these rounds. The one round that they did win was a full-on, rifle round, and it was Olga getting 4 kills running up through mid. So Younger hasn't really had an opportunity to get involved just yet. But Car is making a statement here. 4.0 KD in round number 4. She's looking pretty damn good to just kind of keep that boat floating.
You said in that round, have MIBR overcooked it? I don't think they've overcooked it. They just played that round poorly from when they faked it and then going out A. They went out A too late. Younger was given a pick before the B fake even came through. And then there was no util on the execute. So just not a bad round, but just not executed correctly, if you excuse the pun. Isa, however, tested. And this time, the two IGLs come clashing head to head. And it's Olga the fall the wayside. But Danny, a nice little timing. And Bazina unable to trade. Lulitans all alone on the B bomb site. Do MIBR choose to react and try and crunch upon her?
Oh, this is the car that we know and love. Look at that aggression into mid and slips away through the smoke. I feel like this car, I remember mentioning this in one of their previous games where I was like, this is not car. This is not the car that we know. She's playing so timid. She's playing so hesitant. Like, what is happening? This is the car that we've been waiting for. Ooh, she spots the head. But she herself has been spotted out as well. Scopes back in, waits for them to ego her, and she'll just get another one. Oh, you can't just feed the monster. They'll just keep munching away at you. Baits Danny out into the waiting crosshairs of Gabs. And now it's Younger that has to somehow mount an impressive 1v3 with an AWP in hand. Now, she does have that bomb, so she could potentially, at the very least, get that extra little bit of cash. Oh, but the paranoia is on. She knows that all she has is an AWP. So if somebody swings her, and with the changes to the bomb, I nearly said cinematic, to the animation, could find herself in a little bit of a dangerous spot there. But she does clear things out well. And now has to try to hold on all on her own. Molotov comes through, so now she should... Oh my god, she missed! Oh, she misses the shot, and Luli10s will put her down. I don't think she wins that clutch, but an extra kill might have gone a very long way. FURIA up to 5.
Not the round that I thought they were going to be winning, especially after Danny gets that double opener in cave. You mentioned her, big time player, came alive in the previous time these two teams matched up on LAN. And Danny gets these 2 kills, and somehow Car single-handedly is able to win out this round in a very similar position to the previous, where she's just holding angles, and they just walk into her crosshair. I'm a little bit surprised by MIBR on this T side so far. The game plan isn't connecting the way it seems like they would have wanted it to, and their reactions to what's happening in the mid-round seem very slow. I don't know if they're just taking a while to wake up. Car isn't. But it's also because she's just being shifted in. Like, you know, it's great kills from Car. They are just walking into a crosshair. So, yep. I don't know, like, why aren't they just going up B after that? Sure, the bomb was dropped, and there was 2 players middle, but it's like reconvene and hit a bomb site instead of trying to get cheeky with it. You've got a player advantage, and you're trying to get cheeky with it. What's the point?
So we do just have a little bit of an update on our other game while we have a tech pause. So don't be deceived. It is a 3-2 in favor of 4Magic, and they've just gone into a timeout. But 4Magic won the first 3 rounds. And then Atrix have won the next 2 rounds. And I think that's why the pauses come through here. Let me just double check whose timeout was that. Yeah. 4Magic taking the timeout there. Makes perfect sense. Want to try and stop that momentum, bring things back into their control because they know how important this game is. So very much looking forward to seeing how that one's going to pan itself out. We'll keep you guys abreast of the situation as the information comes in. But as you say, right, it seems like there's a lot of really weird stuff that MIBR are doing at the moment, maybe not looking as clean, cut, and dry as we expect from them. But you kind of mentioned it during the prediction as well. But MIBR didn't look that dominant against Atrix either. They still scraped through with a 2-0 victory, but it was very, very closely contested. And FURIA, well, maybe they just had a bit of a slow start to the season. But if their form continues the way that it is right now, and perhaps we're in for a very spicy end to the regular season.
Yeah, 4Magic was the team they played last week, and that was the result I was specifically identifying. So it was 3 overtimes across a 2-0, like really unconvincing. And to be honest with FURIA, they also looked unconvinced against 4Magic as well. I don't think either MIBR or FURIA come into this matchup with the past results in mind, looking the strongest that we would anticipate. That could be because of their frailty, but it also could be because the field around them has risen. And that's also why we don't see as many MIBR FURIA players just littering the top 10 on statistics. There's multiple other teams that are challenging them, are playing that well. So I think the field is just all around them risen. Well, MIBR need to rise to the occasion, because they've got a pretty good say in this. As Poppins is situated herself on Red Room, while her teammates are starting to work up B.
There is you know, an inkling of this. We are kind of checking for that. They know that they've given up mid, but oh my god, is just an unbelievable anchor. Yes, they do lose 2 players, but with her being able to get 2 there, it makes a massive difference. Luliten's making up for that initial labor.
Why is the bomb not down?
Managing to get that kill onto Danny. Oh no, she gets off the bomb. She gets paranoid. Her teammate's down. She thinks she's going to be rushed, and the HE is all that's needed to clear her out. And now Poppins 1v1. Poppins versus Luliten's. These are 2 players that we talk about at length all the time for being heroes in their respective teams and in their own right. And now it comes down to a 1 versus 1. Poppins not going to make the same mistake. Goes for the stick. Makes the right call. Backs away to the left. And Poppins swings and wins the duel against Luliten's. That's the Poppins that we know and love. And she's making life very difficult for a frustrated Luliten's.
I really need to see a replay of what went on and how come Danny just never gets that bomb planted. But Poppins, oh my god, we should be heralding her for all her worth, right? That's 2 kills on the lurk and also a massive clutch to be picking up. That's such an important round for MIBR. They've been so slow. They need a round like that to kickstart them, to boost them forwards. And for FURIA, to be honest, they do really well in that. They make it very expensive, so can just reset the economy right back. But this time, again, Danny wins out the duels towards Cave. Look at the minimap though. Luliten's and Car have walked down ramp, unknown, and unbeknownst to MIBR, are in T-spawn. Gabby's looking for it?
I think when you know that you've left so much of the map uncontested...
They won't expect Car.
Well, yeah, they expected 1 crazy aggressive push, but 2? This is like the Hobbits with second breakfast. But there you go. Car gets her kill, manages to upgrade, and now they've got a little bit of a pincer possibility. But unfortunately, the map, or rather the site, has been utterly capitulated. The bomb's going to be planted here. And I think for FURIA, the right call to make is to just back away, hold on to the guns. Gabs, yeah, I was wondering what the plan was there, but she goes to pick up a Galil, and they're just going to back away. So MIBR find themselves a 3rd. Also, interesting thing that's happened. So Atrix continue to win the next 3 rounds, go up to 5-3. Full Magic have now taken another timeout. It looks like that game is spiraling out of their control at a rate of knots, and I think the stress is starting to mount.
I'd be pretty stressful as well, to be honest. Terrorists win. What's crazy is that it's also like this comes down to not even just do you win your series, is do you win it 2-0, which is actually bonkers. I don't think I've ever really come down to a situation like this. I mean, I was part of a league once where 6 teams out of 9 go through the playoffs, and 3 teams went 3-6. And went through the playoffs. So there was 4 teams on 3-6. That was possibly the craziest season I've ever been a part of any league, which was quite amusing. Making playoffs with 3 wins out of a possible 9. This is a little less like that.
It's insane. Just a little bit, you know. All right. MIBR now just at a 2-round deficit and have been slowly whittling away at that FURIA economy, which means they're going to come into this one with a very robust buy, coming into a fairly broken FURIA. How the turns can table so quickly, literally in the blink of an eye. That save at the end of that last round certainly going to pay dividends for them. I'm curious to see what that kind of mid control is going to look like here. FURIA, they're quite dynamic in their map control, just in a general sense, kind of poking and prodding here and there and looking to try to find some openings. But Bazina, they do go for that aggressive mid control. She gets that first opening kill, but that's all there is to be seen. How do you keep doing this? She is the GOAT anchor with a USP. She's able to get a kill and somehow stabilize. And Luliten's does exactly the same. And somehow Young has been left all alone in a 1 versus 2, yet to find herself on the board. A clutch here would be monumental to help keep things alive for MIBR, and she makes the right call. She's out of here. She's going to head on over towards the A site. Now, FURIA have picked up guns. The last remaining players certainly have something to fight back with, but with a minute remaining, they're very quickly going to have to realize, it's not going to be this B site after all. Younger using a bit of that utility kind of just in case, and Well, that may have come in handy a bit later, but that paranoia starts to set in. You can't know if they have, in fact, rotated. She pushes straight into the CT spawn and cannot hold her metal. And that's going to be FURIA in a very unexpected round, coming out on top.
That is mind-boggling that they were able to do it with only the measly USPs. I mean, sure, okay, the rifles end up being what wins it the round, but that is heartbreak for MIBR. And that is not type of heartbreak they are allowed to suffer in a map like this. They could not be going down against pistols in that fashion. Younger, I hadn't even noticed, 0 kills? How does that even happen? We were talking her up so much against Car, and currently it's the inverse. Bazina almost throws away that 2v1 there as she gets over-aggressive, but even there, Younger comes away killless. And FURIA, with so much confidence now and so much early damage being applied with utility on lane and mid, there's so much action going on, so many, but both sides, there's so much space, but Gabby's gonna open up the bloodshed with a kill on Iza.
And Olga's going to follow that up quite nicely. Iza, the raid boss, gets taken out. I call her the raid boss. Car is currently, obviously, running the show as it stands, but Iza's anchoring has been fantastic. Unfortunately, this time around, MIBR, they get the upper hand. Oh, Bazina. Trying to keep that little bit more expensive. She's going to slip away. Oh, she's going to run straight into Danny here. Seems to have an inkling that maybe there'll be somebody going for a little bit of a cheeky adventure. Ooh. Oh my God, Danny, just so ready for the swing. And Car now forced to have to hold on to that AWP. MIBR, when they get aggressive, they start to make miracles happen.
It's a pretty disappointing round from FURIA, all things considered, because they weren't set up to fight middle, but Iza elects to go and take a duel, which feels very unnecessary, and this feels very similar to the first gun round where MIBR won because they were able to counteract a mid retake from FURIA. But this time around, it feels very much just like, oh, MIBR are out mid. Okay, we've got loads of confidence because we just want an eco round, and I'm going to swing through a smoke because I feel like I've got a gap. Turns out that they're also holding that exact same gap. Car... That is so clean. So she would... Okay, that's just silly. She might still go down. No, okay, so she was staring at the center and then flicks either way depending on where they were coming from. That is a bonkers... Sorry, that is actually a bonkers shot to be hitting. But I don't think that should take away from... Yeah, that shouldn't take away, though, from a rather disappointing round. Yes. What's this? Yeah, okay. Sit down, Olga, I guess.
Oh man, I love Car so much. That's just so cheeky. It's all about sending a message, and the message is, you're not taking my AWP. Come hell or high water. This is my AWP. All right, MIBR have seen some beautiful moments from them. That aggression. Oh man, back to their roots, back to what we know them for. She keeps getting away with it, man. Just sleeping at the wheel a little bit there. We kind of touched on Danny a little bit and how much of a difference maker she can be, how much of a silent assassin she's been in a lot of these, matches leading up to today. We're getting a solid little opener here. Definitely putting FURIA on notice to an extent. And this is another one of those rounds where they leave mid relatively unguarded. I was saying, they tend to be a little bit dynamic with it. Sometimes they kind of heavily invest into mid. Sometimes they pull back a little bit. They focus a bit more on the extremities. This is another round where they leave that mid somewhat open. Bazina now flashed off of her position. It's forced to back away. She's going to throw down the smoke. Buy a little bit of time here. You do know that there's quite a bit of presence. Car is going to be a pivotal piece here, it feels like. The bomb's making its way in her direction. Oh, she's gonna move off of that angle. She's gonna put a lot of faith now in Bazina up close and personal. Younger has only been good for 1 kill so far. Bazina dodges the flash. Only good for the 1 kill. Olga sits Car down. Unbelievable from the rifler. But she cracks open the sight. The bomb's gonna be planted. And the final 2 players who didn't have the best guns in this round, they were the ones that were kind of struggling a little bit. well, they're going to be forced to try and hold on to what they have remaining. MIBR's aggression continues to be unmatched.
It's not even necessarily MIBR, it's just that head-to-head between Danny and Izza in Cave. And Cave is such a pivotal part of the map where you tend to put your best individual players because it's paramount that CT side are able to get that control. And it's not like they haven't tried to put two there. Bazina's come and joined her IGL on occasion, but that hasn't worked. It feels like they're not putting any utility down to try and stop Danny. They're just doing the basic nades and she's running through that. Doesn't really care, willy-nilly, just going straight through the utility and is getting that opening kill, is giving it up for free. MIBR haven't always converted off that opening kill or two, but in this occasion, another execute that I wasn't looking at very comfortably. MIBR do get away with it, and it means that coming into the final round of this first half of their map pick of the final week of gameplay, FURIA have a pretty difficult purchase to see if they want to retain the lead.
All right, now final round of the half here. Can we go into it on a tied scoreline? Well, it certainly looks like we can. Olga and Poppins, my God, they're terrifying. Hand in hand, they make their way in on towards this bomb site. They clear out the FURIA forces. Danny playing gatekeeper. Gabs will not be allowed any room to breathe. And Bazina left now in a 1 versus 4. She is one of the highest rated players on her team, but she has so much to do here to put this into a good contention. She doesn't have a kit available. Maybe there's one on the site. I didn't see if they had bought into it, but not even going to be given the chance. 6-6 is our score at the half.
Press play.
Don't stop, get what you're after. No
We told you this game was going to knock your socks off. And so far, I think it has. 6-6 at the half. We've had clutches. We've had multi-kills. We've had excitements. We'd have lows. We've had absolutely everything. And now MIBR on their map pick go onto their defense. And they're getting a bit of taste of their own medicine as FURIA are going for a rather similar pistol round.
Carr sitting on a 2.0 KD after the first half. Just unbelievable scenes. Very impressive. And this is the resurgence that we were hoping to see coming into this. Looking like Atrix are likely to win out their series. They went into the half at 8-4. As Danny now gets utterly overrun, put to death. And that's going to leave only 2 players remaining to try and hold the line. But these 2 players, it's oh my God, okay. I was expecting a little bit more out of Poppins. And unfortunately, not going to be able to get too much done. Younger, very quick to follow. And this is looking like a rather clean pistol round here. Maybe Gabby can get one. Oh my God, catches on the reload, but she has to reload herself. They call in reinforcements. She does finally manage to get one for herself, but that is all the squad is going to be able to muster. Dominant pistol from FURIA up to 7, and now they've got cash to burn.
Yeah, that's both pistol rounds now going in favor of FURIA. It's actually kind of surprising that it ultimately ended on a 6-6 scoreline as FURIA went up 5-1 at the beginning due to anti-force buys and also winning the gun rounds. They lost the first gun round, but apart from that, it was really clean from FURIA. So for MIBR, they had the wind of their sails coming onto their defense, but it might get maybe squandered a little bit as it looks like FURIA are going to replicate a rather similar 3 rounds in a row performance. MIBR, they are taking good space towards lane. They are going to realize that it's an A execute. Issue is, Gabby's all alone. There's no rotations. She has to get 3, and you know what? She does really well to get 2. This is on.
Yeah, props where they are due, and now the forces from MIBR can get into position. Good little bit of utility to kind of close down the push. Ooh, there we go. Shots through the smoke. That's going to force MIBR to have to play a little bit more passively, unfortunately. But yes, the lurk coming in now through Donut. No one's even thinking about it. They know that they have to kind of hit the accelerator and get moving. And Gabs herself running out of time a little bit. Oh, and it's a spray down through the smoke. She gets 3 of the 4. Luliten stealing 1 of them. And another relatively clean round here from FURIA. MIBR, the second time they force up in round 2. And the second time that it does not go their way.
That was a very satisfying lurk coming out from Gabs. Not only because it's like obviously right, she gets all 3 kills and wins out the round, but it's just at the timing of when she goes. Even though there are player disadvantage, even though it's a 3 versus 4, she takes that time. She doesn't overforce it, doesn't overplay her hand, and it's just clinical when she comes in as MIBR are starting to make their way onto the bomb site. But these pistols, they're doing a lot of damage. The bomb's being dropped. Speaking about taste of their own medicine, FURIA, who won a Felico, now get brought down by the same Fang.
Goodness me. All right, well, we made the right call there. MIBR putting the stack in just the right place, and that was just a round of just having the right read at the right time and executing it perfectly. It's not a full economic reset, but it's near as damn because they kept those last couple of rounds pretty darn close. And so now FURIA, in what should have been a bonus round for them, forcing 2 MAC-10s, Galil, AK, and 1 measly pistol. And a chonky nade is going to put Gabs in a very uncomfortable spot now. And the util damage continues to rain down, making these FURIA players very, very squishy. They start looking to exec in towards this B side. MIBR getting very aggressive. Olga, good for the first, does get traded out, but Danny's there to make sure that they keep it an even kilter. Down to the last 2 players remaining for FURIA. Carl with bomb on her back. Forced to have to pull away. Rethink the decision. Oh my God, Poppins cleanly lobs Gabs' head off. Leaves Carl all alone. She's got nothing to try and defend Red Room, and in that long-range battle right now, not necessarily the fight that she wants to take. So forced to have to keep up this push towards this site. And unfortunately, caught in a 1v2. The high-low shuts it down. And now we're back to an evened out scoreline.
It's an even out scoreline, but it isn't just like an even keel 8-8. This is MIBR who won a full eco. They're clean on the anti-force buy. This is them on their map pick. I think they've broken through. This is the secret sauce, as one would say. And for FURIA, this could be really important if they do want to make it through to Stockholm, that they win this series out 2-0. That is going to be a big deciding factor, because if Atrix win 2-0, Atrix, so yeah, even if FURIA win 2-1, if Atrix win 2-0, FURIA don't go through to Stockholm. So MIBR winning this one single map could just seal the fate for the reigning champions.
So much to think about. So much pressure. And you know that these players, they've come into this match just like, we cannot spend the entire game thinking about permutations, thinking about round differences and map differences and all the minutiae that go into it. It's 1 foot in front of the other, 1 round at a time to try and get the victory here. Give us an opportunity to actually get to that LAN final. And while we have a quick timeout here, just a quick update. Dusty Roses versus the Killers at last check-in, which, to be fair, was about 5 minutes ago. But it was a 9-7 in favor of the Dusty Roses, and the Killers had just taken a timeout. So, as always, we'll keep you abreast of that as and when we have the details. Also, quick update on EU, because we do have our decider matches for tomorrow. It's going to be Overpeak versus the Flame Sharks and Imperial Valkyries versus Let Her Cook. And I'll be honest, with how hard Let Her Cook pushed NIP today, I think that Let Her Cook and Imperial game could be a bit of a banger, because their tournament lives are also on the line here. Neither of our world champions are confirmed just yet to make it to this last final. So very, very exciting to see how that one pans out. As we zoom back in now to FURIA versus MIBR. Poppins is just pushed into mid. She tries to slip away into the smoke, but she will get caught out of position. And FURIA now, the Panthers have found their claws once more. That's the bomb lost. However, Olga in such a perfect position here gets cheeky of her own accord. Is this going to try to keep battling it back? The smokes keep coming down to obscure that vision, to try and get Olga in an uncomfortable position. She's all alone, 1 against the world. Don't give her ones. You can't give Olga ones, and she'll win them. She'll trade it out. She'll slam dunk that round. A 3K to get MIBR to 10.
Oh, she plays that so perfectly and grabs victory from the jaws of defeat. That was a pretty bad round on all accounts for MIBR. Their mid control doesn't go the way that they want it to. But then Car just runs straight into the welcoming arms of Olga, and she plays this 1v2 to perfection, closes the distance, gets in a spot that they just don't expect it to be, and that's double digits. And I think more heartbreak is following suit for this FURIA roster as Younger finally starting to get pen to paper. It's 2 kills. And it's certainly, just so far, a lot more than what we've seen before. And while she's only on 4 in total, MIBR are still leading by 3 rounds. So they don't need her.
Well, that's the thing, right? When the rest of your team can step up. I mean, we've had this conversation about Ana back when it was Enigma Galaxy, and even during some of the Imperial days. There would be moments where she's kind of not being an absolute, you know, star-studded player like we expect from her, but the rest of the team kind of picks up the slack a little bit, and that's very often what you need to be happening here. So impressive from the rest of MIBR to keep it as close as they have been. I mean, Poppins has been kind of leading the charge here for a lot of it, and lead the charge she will continue to do. Between her and Olga, they get the first opening couple of kills, and FURIA now, unfortunately, it feels like they are just falling apart at the seams. MIBR knocking on the door of map point. It's going to come down to these last 2 players to bring it back, to make it doable. Lulitens activates, but only for a moment before Gabby shuts her down, and Car's left all alone with an AWP. Knows that there's one in mid. Jesus, Car. She has been on fire today with that AWP, but unfortunately cannot do much more than that. Map point now for MIBR, and FURIA take a desperate Hail Mary timeout.
To be honest, it's all coming from that eco round loss. Like, as soon as that eco was won, everything's just gone all the way at MIBR. All the momentum just flooded in their favor. FURIA, they were setting themselves up for victory. They sure ended that first half on a bit of a rocky performance, but they were ready to kickstart their trajectory in the second half. But what it's really come down to is them just struggling when it comes to the gun rounds. They've got 4 of their 8, half of their rounds from the pistol round. So if they didn't win both pistols, this actually might have just been a super one-sided affair. But it's single-handedly kept them into the conversation. But for MIBR, they've been flawless. They win the eco, and they build off of that confidence. Now they just have to do it up against a pretty low purchase. They've got FURIA in the palm of their hands to head on to Mirage. 1 map to the good.
Now we just have to hold our nerve. Make sure that we don't get, you know, a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too cheeky. Don't give over those advantages unnecessarily. And you can see MIBR playing a little bit more of a slower, bit more patient game. We've got some advanced positions, but not crazy over aggression. Again, it's, you know, we're seeing mid kind of left a little bit unguarded. There's a little bit of presence there. Flash comes through, followed by the Molotov. Nothing doing. It's Poppins from Donut. Poppins from... How has she done that? She just kind of slightly changes position and gets a double. Bazina's going to get the kill onto Gabby. Maybe that makes it that little bit more doable. Sorry, Danny. Gabby, however, also falls to the wayside in the spawn, which is devastating. The bomb now has a chance to start making its way over towards the site. It was a 3v3. But Gabs gets caught on the rotation, and MIBR, they can taste it. It's so incredibly close. They know that Bazina has been lit, or at the very least they expect that she has been, so that should be an easy bit of cleanup. Olga going for the reposition now. Should be able to double up with Poppins, create a little bit of a crossfire scenario. Doesn't even need to! Olga shuts down Car. Poppins with the final kill of the round. An impressive performance from MIBR. Maybe not as dominant as some may have expected, but at the end of the day, it is a strong win for them, and it will set them up for success and pretty much confirms their spot at the Stockholm LAN.
Oh, for MIBR, this, if I'm not mistaken, 100% good nuke, because also MIBR, they really love a Dust 2 and they're really quite good on it. So makes sense that Dust 2 would probably get picked up eventually. But no, both nuke and Dust 2 get banned over in the second time. And FURIA actively removed Dust 2, probably thinking, yeah, don't want to contend against MIBR on that map. They go on to a Mirage, maybe because they feel like their hand is forced. They look around, they're just thinking, well, last time we got beaten on Inferno, Train, which we picked into 8-Tricks, we lost on, and FURIA banned that anyways. I guess we have to go Mirage. MIBR, the only saving grace was that they struggled against 4 Magic last week, where it went to double overtime. That is the only saving grace for FURIA going on this map, because they've played it once. Only once. Sure, they beat the Killers 13-2, but it's a little bit different. It's MIBR.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an uphill battle, and MIBR are going to be getting to start on that CT side. Now, we know that they can be quite devastating when they get into that T side position and kind of hit the accelerator a little bit, but this time around, going to be playing a bit more... Nope, not passive. That would not be the right word, because look at this adventure that Younger is going on. She's come all the way through to meet up in the middle, but dear God, they've managed to make their way down ramp already, and there's a massive pincer happening because the B side is relatively free and clear. Younger has spotted them out or heard them coming down, so tries to pepper with a little bit of damage, but the majority of MIBR have been brought down to such low HP, and while they will be a little bit of a battle back, FURIA will win their 3rd pistol of the day.
Looking, also winning every pistol pretty clean. Like, even though that maybe comes down to 2 players, FURIA have just been uncontestable. And 4 of their 8 rounds came from pistol adjacents in that first half. Car, a multi-kill in 2 pistol rounds now. A triple on the first pistol and a triple now on the 3rd. And very impactful kills as well, to say the least. So it's good to see her continuing the form and making sure that it wasn't just inconsistent and flash in the pan, Younger, though, on the scorecard a lot quicker than last time, as FURIA pedal to the metal. They're keeping the press very much hot as they are just going straight full gas onto this A-bomb site.
And it was another round, another time where MIBR forced up on round number 2. And we know that it hasn't really worked out for them so far throughout the course of this day. But perhaps this time we'll see a different look as the first kill to come through from Danny does get traded out. Might cause a little bit of pause here as those smokes start to clear. Now they know there will be a full barrage of players making their way up the ramp position, but the utility keeping the majority of FURIA blinded out and hiding in a corner. They're so low HP.
Okay.
Olga flying over the top with the MP9 takes down a low HP car. And it's down to a 3 versus 2 now. This is a more than doable scenario. The bomb only now being tapped, but not confirmed. They're a little bit too paranoid. They're not willing to actually go for it. Finally, they do, in fact, do so. They have to reposition themselves a bit here. They don't have all the information. Xena gets caught on her way in towards jungle, and Gabs trying to fight it out from main. Gets shut down. A 3K from Olga. Finally, that force buy pays off.
Olga is the definition of big-time player. Like, I'm thinking about the clutches she got on the CT side of Ancient. And also here, the only reason MIBR win that round is because a little bit of BS with the jump kill, but also just conviction. Yeah, like this is, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of, that's very unlucky. But for Olga,
MP9 nerf, by the way.
Yeah, got nerfed, remember guys, don't you forget. Olga wins that round because of conviction. But Xena gets sold a dream as Gabs was supposed to be holding her cross from CT, but because of Olga's just fury, beats the cross. Now, MIBR trying to mimic some of Olga's furiosity as they're just charged onto B.
And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're... Oh, I say that. Okay, we're battling back. The Tech 9s are singing. These are the kind of rounds that I absolutely adore. But Olga is still alive. The raid boss absolutely in play. Gets shut down by that Tech 9. But Gabby's going to keep that little... Oh, sorry, Danny. Names are too similar, man. 2 versus 2. Luli10, she's picked up an AK. And she's in the fight now and looking to battle back. Younger left all alone to try to 1v2, tries to catch Bazina on the rotation. Nothing doing, and FURIA on a Tech 9 round. Slap MIBR back after losing a little bit of that momentum. This is what we live for.
Really not a fan of how MIBR conduct themselves on that retake. You know, it's a pretty unfortunate hold where MIBR, it felt like they probably were going to be just straight up cancelling that execute. You like, knock, knock, rent's due, we're the landladies. But only 2 kills. And then Olga just running out with no real care in the world, with also no coverage. Younger's on a flank, but then like runs around and activates really weirdly. I don't know. That was an odd view. That was an odd watch. And I'm not. Yeah, that was a weird round for MIBR. Very poor retake. And now they're gonna have to try and retake once again. 3 rounds in a row, this time towards A, and honestly, they might just call it quits because no one's moving.
Yeah. I think they were maybe hoping for a bit of a push over towards B, then maybe get a little bit of damage done. Although it does look like they're starting to rotate in, maybe looking to get a couple of exits here. They unfortunately... Oh, no, they do. They have 1 kit.
They have a kit.
So they might actually go for this as Danny starts to make her way in on towards the site. They've smoked off Palace, so that gives them a little bit of room to move. But the entirety of the T's are in that ramp position. We're battling back. We're getting a couple of kills in. And even if we don't win the round, we keep it expensive. The kit's been lost. Younger's all alone, trying to do that little bit more. Can't quite get it done. FURIA up to 3. A rough one for MIBR. And you know, since we're about to go into a little bit of an eco round, Freddie, I need to get your input on something, because there have been 2 teams that you have been, you know, adoring in South America. One of those, the Capybaras, and of course, Cruzinho, because of your love of horses. And at last check-in, they were at 6-6 in the halftime. And I'm just curious, where does your heart lie in this matchup?
I'm very split. My heart lies with whoever wins.
Wow.
No,
Fair weather fan.
No, my heart has to lie with the Capybaras, but just because they haven't even won a map, so I just want to see them win a map. You know, Carlzinho, I love the kind of debuts of Pac and Akane, if memory serves correctly. Carrot and Banana just continues to have the best name in the whole of ESL Impact, maybe the whole of just like Counter-Strike. But Capybaras, you know, I honestly don't think I could have even told you any of the players on their roster because I haven't actually looked that far. I was just like, name, subscribe.
And unfortunately, the one time that we were going to see them on stream, they unfortunately had to forfeit against MIBR.
I also wasn't here.
You weren't even working that game.
I wasn't. Like, I was actually looking at that, and I was genuinely, a little part of me was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Like, the 1 week that I don't get hired for ESL Impact, and it's the one freaking week we're looking at Capybaras. Like, guys, come. Like, really, guys? Really?
It's like the Capybaras knew, and they were like, no Freddy, no win.
I wonder if because like, I don't think it's like, it's obviously not an org. I doubt, you know, maybe they don't speak English, maybe they don't listen to the English broadcast. I wonder if those 5 players realize I just have a pure obsession with them.
That'd be hilarious.
Just because of their
Atrix has been
name.
really cool on social media. They've tagged us in a couple of their little content pieces because we were trying to figure out the South American Macarena, which turned out to be
cool.
the song from the Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which was also, it really surprised me because like when we asked Boko,
Yeah.
she was like, oh, it's like a K-pop group. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then, yeah, it turns out it's the Pussycat Dolls. I was like, that's not what you told us.
Yeah, no, so that was like part of it, but the particular dance that was happening, because she said, oh, it's from that song Buttons. I don't remember who the band is. And I thought it was the Pussycat Dolls, but I thought, well, let me know. And what blew my mind is the fact that like these are really young players, and that song came out when I was in high school, which, not to give away my age, was a fairly long time ago. So I was quite surprised that was the song and the dance that they were learning and jamming.
Also, I got a bit of bone through Atrix. In Atrix, they look like they pick a super cute photo of you where you're like, you know, got your headset on at ESL Impact, and me, it's just a random one they took from my Twitter where I look deadpan. Like, Atrix, come on, guys,
that's
come
just your
on,
face, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I look so. I should. Come on, guys.
I get trolled. All right, let's focus back in here. MIBR have a bye once again. Younger's brought into that AWP. We'll see if she can start to get a few more results here, more than we saw in the previous map at least. Oh, that's a nasty HE. Ooh, Bazina. They have an idea, and maybe somebody's getting a little bit cheeky towards the underpass scenario. We've got a very heavy lean kind of mid to A here from MIBR, and it is the right call. But will FURIA decide to stick with this? The push coming in through connector tells me that it's more than likely. Oh god, no! Ships in the night gets caught out by Izza. It's a beautiful opener here for FURIA, but we need to see the follow-up. Izza does get that kill onto Poppins, who was our top performer on the previous map. Olga and Poppins offline. It's going to make this so much more difficult for the MIBR squad. And well, do they choose to go for this? There's a world here where they just opt to back away. They got a rifle, an AWP, FAMAS. Maybe this is just the call to not fight this. Oh, Gabby will get one.
I don't even think
giving up.
Like, is there a kit? I don't know. Is there one on the Palace? Like, even with that kill, I wouldn't suggest going for this. And yeah, Danny's thinking, okay, we haven't been given an opening kill. No one's peeked into Younger's orb. Okay, open kill as an Izza, but like nothing on the bomb site directly. Issue is, are they even going to get away? Because they've hung around for so long. Bazina's holding for the rotation. Thank heavens. And thank Joe that they get away with 3 players staying alive, because I was a little bit thinking there, just like, it's so unnecessary. You're not going to win the retake. There's no point, like in that 3rd round where they tried to go for a retake, just save the weaponry and have another go at it here.
Another update just on the Atrix game. It's currently 5-2 in favor of 4Magic on Atrix's map pick. Oh, the suspense, the drama.
That's how map 1 started. I'll give him that. Map 1, I'm pretty sure, started with...
Started a 3-0, and then Atrix took the next, like, 7 rounds
What's happened? Okay, ooh, actually, 4Magic won... They won first gun round. Okay. I take back my sentiment.
Yeah, this is literally the opposite of what happened on the first map.
Yeah.
So Atrix have now taken a timeout, and we'll see what they can do at the end of that one. As always, we'll keep you all updated, but very exciting games all around. I wish that we could cover all of them. You know, we couldn't possibly. It would be ridiculous, but with how the
17 monitors, 7 desktops, 15 Xboxes.
Do you know what? I would love to see our wonderful producer try to find a way to juggle covering 2 different games at the same time. Technical director extraordinaire, but...
Challenge accepted. Or actually, no,
she's keen.
The challenge for us would be having them both on, but then casting them at the same time. Honestly, no, it's actually like March Madness. If anyone watches basketball, March Madness is like the student, like the college, and they play all the games. There's like hundreds of games going on at once. Maybe not hundreds, but you basically just go through the games. That would kind of be what we should be doing, like March Madness, but ESL Impact Madness. However, this is crazy because look at this. The fight is being taken to FURIA in middle, and they get knocked down, knocked out of the park as Luliten's sole survivor. The bomb's out in no man's land. She has to go and pick it up, but there's defenders holding for it. There's no way, surely, right, she wins this.
Hey, listen, I have a phenomenal almost clutch in this exact scenario. Okay, this time, not going to be the case. It's literally in my highlight reel. It's phenomenal, but it also did not end in a round win, unfortunately. So that very much follows that same trajectory, unfortunately. So there you go. 5-2 now is where we end off. MIBR starting to show some signs of life. And again, we talk about the FURIA aggression. This time around, they're playing a little bit more of a stagnant start to the round, a little bit more defaulty, a little bit more kind of wait and see scenario, see if you can get an opening pick and then kind of pivot off of that. And, you know, the aggression gets brought to them. And now, oh, they're trying something similar once again. Khan in elevated position gets the dub over her opponent in Young. Is very consistently going in favor of Ka in a lot of different ways when they actually come face to face in terms of, you know, what they're doing in different areas of the map and how they're shutting down the enemy team. Like, Ka has just been lights out in this matchup. But with the trade onto Bazina, feels like there's still a possibility here for MIBR.
It's a bad read, though, and I don't blame them. Gabby's been instituted deep in apartments. She's got all of this map control. So therefore, Danny and Olga and Poppins, they've been sent over to the other part of the map, other side of the world. And FURIA are silent, tiptoeing their way onto the bomb site. Gabby won't have an idea until the digits get tapped in, and Luliten's is here to clear her out. And as Luliten starts to activate, will she expect Gabby here? Yes! Whoa, that is clean! And Poppins doesn't realize, peekaboo, they're already there!
Oh, this is not looking great for MIBR, but FURIA also had a little bit of a runaway at the start of Ancient, so we'll give it a moment. Unfortunately, here's where the trouble comes in. MIBR don't have a lot of money at the moment. Now, yes, they are going to have a little bit of lost streak bonus to try and kind of tide them over. They're going to be able to potentially hold on to this AWP and the one rifle. Danny now hears the footsteps. There you go. Nice little swing there. Gets that kill onto Luliten. So that little bit of extra cash, she's going to be forced to reposition. But they should be able to hold on to these last 2 guns. So they should be able to scrape something by in the next round. We're kind of getting into a bit of crazy snowball territory, assuming we're not there already. So the fact that FURIA have hit 6 does kind of put MIBR on notice.
There's some pretty convincing rounds coming out from FURIA. It's an unfortunate call for MIBR though in the previous. Like, they do everything correctly. You know, they go through the motions. I'm a little bit surprised though when Danny did have all of control towards ramp and was being like, well, they're definitely not coming from ramp. That there wasn't any movement elsewhere. Because Gabby, yeah, actually had no information. It's kind of like a poison chalice when you've got apps control of like, well, she didn't even have all of apartments. And they had no mid control. So a poison chalice, her information, and unfortunately brought down by their own sword. So FURIA, somewhat similar to Ancient, as you mentioned. They get 6-2. We've been at this scoreline before, but last time it ended 13-8 in favor of MIBR. For FURIA, winning 2-1 in this series might not even matter. They have to hope 4 Magics push Atrix to a third. So FURIA, they know that their fate may be out of their hands, but they're trying their hardest to make sure they can do everything in their power to win.
Starting to get a little bit aggressive once again here, Olga. This is, if I remember correctly, this was the map where we saw her struggle a little bit in previous games. I could be hallucinating that, but I think it was Mirage. Oh my goodness, nice shot from Gabs, and well, Olga gets shut down before she has an opportunity to really do anything. Gabs now wanting to double up on that one, but Danny won't give her the opportunity, makes the right call, backs out. They haven't spotted anything else. And remember, Olga was pretty deep into main, so that's some decent information garnered that it's unlikely to be a push in towards the A site. Poppin's getting that kill in towards mid. That's going to leave FURIA scrambling a little bit. Danny, the reposition is phenomenal. Does get traded out, however, but brings it to a 3 versus 3. Lulitens
The whiff.
not quite finishing her meal, unfortunately. Does get spotted out here, swung on, somehow managing to survive. The happy feet are
Bomb's going
real
A.
with her right now. She's really struggling to win out this duel, but she's keeping them distracted. It's all she needs to do because, as you've said, that bomb is heading to the other side of the map. And sure, MIBR might be able to get some kills here, might be able to finally take down Lulitens, but this isn't where the action should be. They need to be aware. And oh, there we go. A little bit of information in towards mid. Yeah, Gabby should be aware. Should have spotted it out, and the rotations will now start to come in. They realize they can't just leave the flank utterly undealt with. So they shut down Lulitens, and then they begin to mount that push back over towards the A site. They do have 2 kits available here, so there is a world in which they bring this back. Gab's a little bit in danger here. What? Oh, she gets swung on. She had no right, but she just holds down that M1. You can see even she's amazed by what she's able to pull off there. The final kill comes through. MIBR, in what looked like a very winnable scenario, allows it to slip through their fingers.
A very difficult round for MIBR where it just feels like they were never on the same page. Taking that mid-fight, Shaw activates, but then Con goes... Danny powers her way forward by herself when the short players had already fallen back. And even at the end there, Younger and Poppins not in the right positions to trade. Like, Poppins should have got that response, but doesn't. So MIBR looking a little bit fragile on Mirage so far. They looked very dangerous. Well, sorry, I guess, yeah, they looked fragile against 4 Magic. They had to mount this crazy comeback in the second half. If you remember, MIBR only got 3 rounds on their T side and had to go flawless on their defense. Well, currently, they're on their defense against FURIA, and they've only got 2 rounds. If they can only get 3 against 4 Magic, I'm not sure how long we'll be on Mirage 4, as a third map might just be already written in the sand. MIBR, they don't want to give up just yet.
MIBR have only 1 timeout remaining.
That's a scary, yeah, that's a scary one as well.
They have been pushed to the absolute brink here. And the craziest part is that losing this map, it's not like they lose the series. Okay, it does put them in a little bit of a tight spot, but it would be the first map that they lose all season. So certainly not willing to allow that. Poppins! Uncharacteristic from her. Izza cracks this one open. A double kill. Gabby trying desperately to keep it contestable, but this round goes more or less the way it should have always been. Izza with a sneaky little, a cheeky little 4K there. Having a really solid performance so far. Also, Colozinho's 10-8 versus the Capybaras. Capybaras had taken a timeout at last check-in. And Dusty Roses versus the Killers, 3-2 in favor of the Killers. So the games going on across the board here are very tight, very close. Oh, man. It's a very exciting day
Looks
for
like potentially a third map as well. 4 Magic are about to go 7-3 up against Atrix. So Yeah, it looks like Mirage is they're also Mirage. The Mirage is just the midpoint to the decider, and Iza, another opening kill in middle onto Connector. That kind of head-to-head, cursed enemies, Danny and Iza. Feels like they were going blow for blow on Ancient. This time though, even though FURIA got the opening kill, MIBR, they're still challenging, and they're so quick on the heels that are they able to go for this retake? I feel like they kind of have to.
We're running out of time, unfortunately, and especially if MIBR want a chance on their CT side. Remember, FURIA, one of their biggest, defining qualities is that hyper-aggression that they've become so well known for. And now on the T side, they've turned this into an absolute runaway train of a lead, leaving MIBR in a position where even if they have the greatest T side imaginable, they have so little space to work with. This last round is a damn near necessity for them. And with a broken bye and not terribly much to really say for themselves into this, it's not looking good. One kit is all they're going to have to work with. Only one player with a helmet. Only 2 M4s. It's not ideal. It's a very, very stressful scenario for them.
I was questioning the map pick of Mirage, but currently FURIA are showing me why they bought into this map. I didn't know where they could kind of go in the veto. Mirage felt like, I guess, the only safety net. And they're showing it was more than a safety net. Looking for double digits at the end of this first half. Olga spamming around the smoke, nading the smoke, finally spots one, Bazina, and that's the bomb drop. Player advantage. Surely MIBR, do they know there's any more going up short? Gabby getting a pick deep in apartments, and Olga spawning them all out. The jig is up. And MIBR, they have the player to stop them, but Car at range, sniping Poppins down, clears the way for a bomb plant.
Suppressive fire from the terrifying sniper. Exactly what you want from a player like that, keeping things very much hotly contested. But, oh my god, how has Gabby lost that? I thought this was a surefire way for MIBR to get themselves back into the round. Now Carwell entirely blinded out, gets the kill onto Gabby. Younger now, she's been a bit of a weak link so far today. So much to be done in this round to put it into good contention. Sniper v Sniper, and once again, it's Car that comes out on top. Not the 6-6, but a 10-2 in favor of FURIA.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Nah, says FURIA. 10-2 up on their map pick. They're looking to push this Battle of the Celestials to a third map.
Whee, all right. Pistol round, the absolute bare minimum for the MIBR squad here. And oh, not the way we wanted to kick that one off, ladies. Oh my God, it's all falling apart. Car Sensei, the absolute Doolies, but Pistol Warlord. Double kill in that round, triple kill in the first pistol round of this map, triple kill in the first pistol round of the previous map. She has been instrumental, and that may just lay waste to MIBR's plans.
Okay. I just didn't expect this whatsoever. Like, FURIA have played great on this map, but like, what's going on? MIBR, they haven't woken up. This is just such a, maybe they weren't expecting Mirage, but I don't even know if a win here does match. It just keeps their head above the water and just saves off the impending doom. And they're not even going to get out of ramp. Mauled down. Annihilated by such a tight hold on this bomb site. All 4 players are here for FURIA. It's getting a little bit wacky. It's getting a little bit too wild. And for some reason, it's a 2 versus 2. Okay, let's shut it down now. And Izza says, girls, can we please just close it out?
This is unreal. Can I just remind everyone that as of right now, MIBR have not dropped a single map all season. They've had a few overtimes, but they haven't dropped a map. So it is almost unthinkable that they're about to lose a map. Not just lose a map, but lose it 13-2 in such an unbelievably dominant fashion where it kind of looks like they haven't even loaded into the server. We'll give them a chance to maybe turn things back around.
Smoke. And they're just staring down mid.
Last chance saloon here. Tech 9s, we've seen some beautiful Tech 9 rounds, but it's the map point. And if these pistols cannot get the most insane results imaginable, then we will be heading to that map number 3, and FURIA will give themselves another opportunity to lock in Stockholm. Now, we hit the accelerator, start moving in towards this B site, spamming wildly through the smoke there. Poppins gets the first kill onto Car. This is a little bit unprecedented. It does seem to be an opportunity. Bomb has started to kind of pivot, changes direction. Bazina holding onto the site now. Already, FURIA have started moving over as well. Poppins is going to get caught out in the murder hole. Oh my God, the read from FURIA is phenomenal as MIBR start moving closer and closer towards this A site, but they're falling like flies. Olga's been lost as well.
Gabby's still on B.
Now the bomb has a decision to make. Gabby has opened up the B site, but again, the rotations are quick. They're in position, but Danny through that murder hole avenges Poppins, brings it to a 3 versus 2 now. MIBR somehow in with a chance, ducking and diving, keeping Bazina busy. And Lulitens, the 2 of them hand in hand now, but they realize they need to pivot. They need to move in towards the spot where this bomb is being planted. Gabby with a 6 shot leaves Bazina all alone. Yes, she's full HP, but she has a massive uphill battle ahead of her. She has to isolate 3 1v1s. There's no chance, there's no real chance, there's never no chance of a spray down ending in a crazy multi-frag. She's gonna back away. She's gonna concede the round. MIBR have given themselves a breath of air, but 9 rounds is what it's gonna take to bring this into a winnable scenario. Ooh, a little bit cheeky for them to no, guys. Oy, okay, we finally put her down. That got a little bit more expensive than it needed to be, but a round win nonetheless.
Delaying the inevitable, or is this perhaps something more? That's the question I have.
Way too early for that call, man.
Yeah, play the Benny Hill music though, because what the hell was that? Younger's just like, okay, I'm in apartments, I'm gonna go towards B. But hold on a second, Poppin's got an opening kill towards jungle. I'm gonna go to connector. I've got here. You've told me to come, but we have no map control. Why have you told me to come towards A when we don't have control towards A? Back to B I go. Gabby gets the most important opening kill, and then it cascades from there. And just really good individual shooting coming out from Gabby as MIBR. 9 rounds from this point. 10 in a row would be It would be one of those comebacks that bards sing about in taverns, that poems are written about. Unfortunately, I don't think we live in this fairy tale, but hey, it'd be nice to think about.
Capybaras have taken Crozinho to OT.
Oh my god. Yes. Magnificent.
Who would have thought? Oh my heavens. That must be a banger of a game. Shout out to all the community casters that are, making it possible.
Shout out to Affinity for rallying the
100%. Bro, Affinity put in so much work to make sure that every single off-stream game had a broadcast, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Unsung
so guys,
heroes.
If there is an off... Truly. So if there is a
ESL
game
matchline.
that you feel like you're missing out on, then make sure that you, go check out the HLTV page. All of them are on there because I also saw her making sure that they were listed on HLTV as well. So if there is an off-stream game that you want to check out, maybe go check out the OT for Crozinhos versus Capybaras. See if Capybaras can get their first game of the season. Because right now it's looking like we could be heading into a break fairly soon. We'll give it a moment as FURIA found themselves in a bit of a precarious spot. Gabs has taken a lot of damage, but she did take one down with her. Finally, will get traded out. That's going to open up this B site, make it doable. Car not quite finding the magic with that Deagle, doing some damage, but not connecting the shots in the way that she'd like. She's somehow still alive and desperately trying to make it a winnable scenario. MIBR maybe getting a little bit too scared, playing a little bit too terrified. Yeah, they're giving over unnecessary kills, bro. They're trying to clear out too much. And yes, you do need to clear out, but perhaps you've now given over too much of an advantage. Bomb is going to be planted, but it brings it to a 2 versus 2. You have somewhat of an advantage here, and that just gets stolen away. Bazina has made it a 2 versus 1. Gabby, you have to make this miracle a reality, and she can't. Oh my god, Freddy. I can't believe that that's how the map ends. I'm actually... I'm crashing out.
Yeah. I don't blame you. That was a 2 versus 4 that FURIA have just won out. Well, we were watching that, and I was thinking that, okay, MIBR are still going to win this round, but I kind of want to talk about in the between the next rounds when they have the eco of even across Ancient and Mirage. I've just been really disappointed with how MIBR have conducted themselves on the exit.
It's the final chance here for FURIA to lock in for Stockholm, Freddy.
Yeah, and this must be such a weird experience for FURIA because they know what's on stake. They probably are sitting there being like, we have to focus on this third map, but we're also kind of keeping attention on what's happening over on the Atrix 4 Magic game. Like, this must be one of the worst times to be a professional player because you have to lock in, but it's so hard because of all the surrounding factors. Last time these two teams played up against each other, FURIA picked this map on LAN, and FURIA came back after, and MIBR came back after they were down 11-5, and they came back on the T side. So a bit of retribution perhaps for FURIA as they once again are starting on the CT side. They had a great CT side, 8-4. That didn't prove to be enough last time. So it's going to be interesting as MIBR, they just pop out of apartments and there's a clear A bomb site because FURIA, they were playing for sure.
Well, FURIA want to get yet one more pistol round under their belts. However, it looks like not going to be allowed to as Gabby goes absolutely nuclear with that double kill. Bomb's already been planted, man. We're still waiting for a rotation from B. Lulitens is still in Narnia, and they have to meet up before they can actually mount this. Now, Bazinia can't afford to get overly aggressive here. The call is made. All right, I'm right behind you. I'm in library. Let's go. Let's make this happen. They spot the library player. Bazina just gets absolutely deleted. And of course, Car, sure, she gets one, but it's a triple from Gabby, a double from Younger, and it all amounts to MIBR taking the pistol.
Is that the first pistol round won for MIBR? Yeah, it is. That is MIBR's first ever pistol round in this series, and what a time to come alive. This is when they need to be securing their dominance. Not so much their spot in Stockholm, their dominance in the South American region. Oh my god, it's going to overtime. Atrix 4 Magic has gone to overtime. Oh my god.
Holy brother. Pulling out all the stops here today. None of these teams are willing to give even an inch. And for 4 Magic, I mean, they know they might actually be in with a chance if they can create the craziest three-way tie imaginable in second place.
I don't know for Magic. I think that's the one
this
thing
is the thing,
that's like
I think it's one of those things of like, they probably haven't done the full maths and they're just kind of hoping, right? Like if they can keep this as competitive as humanly possible, maybe this
I did the maths. It's not possible.
Yeah, but I'm saying from their perspective, Freddie. God, not everything's about you. I'm glad somebody did the maths, 'cause I freaking did.
I was actually just saying this. I was like, players get upset when they don't do the like maths correctly, and then when someone does it, they get upset because someone's done it. It's just like, huh? Either way, though, MIBR might just get reset as they've got a player disadvantage. The benefit is they are going to the right bomb site. It has rotated dim, but there's kind of this gap between the two FURIA players. Luckily, is going to be able to get onto the bomb site. But the timing, this is crazy. I don't think FURIA are going to expect MIBR to be this close on long.
Already having snuck up, opting for the cut noise scenario. Noise is made. I'm going to get the kill onto Izza. That's going to open up the bomb site. Gabs now. Oh, no. She's made it impossible. Maybe not impossible. There's time for rotations to come through here. The stick onto the plant should be able to come through, but she's going to be run down. And Gabs will get that final kill. Izza, not quite the same anchor that we saw a little bit earlier on Ancient, but it does give over tons of information, and Gabs is the one that brings this one home. A 4K from her absolute heroics. Oh, that would be cute if it wasn't terrifying.
Yeah, it's like some Siamese twins. Great round from Gabs. You know, she activates and is the one that initiates the contact deep in second mid. That not only gives her a Galil, but the player advantage. And that Galil gets put to perfect work. She uses her teammate Izza as bait. Realistically, Izza at a 5-7, right? Like, there wasn't really much she could do. So Gabs uses her as bait, throws her to the wolves, and ends up getting 3 kills off it. So MIBR, they win their first pistol round of the series. Boom, reset. They are not going to be getting anything for free. No handouts on Inferno.
And it's so funny because them forcing up after losing the pistol has only worked out for them once. So no, this is their second pistol win, because remember how dominant that was on the second half of Mirage. They just like absolutely slammed their way through that. It was the 10-2 half, and then they took it up to 12, and then MIBR got 1 and
Car got it was when CT side pistol second half of Mirage. FURIA won.
Yes.
Yeah,
so this is their second pistol win. No, wait.
First.
That's right. Yeah, okay. You are correct. I'm having a moment where for some reason I thought MIBR were winning all of the pistols, even though I know that they weren't. You know what?
FURIA won all the pistols, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll just glide past that. That whole conversation never happened.
I do it more than is humanly possible. Don't worry.
Looking for a miracle here.
Yeah, this is a hard one for MIBRs because like they're already down 3-1. Like this is a really just great start for FURIA where they need everything to go their way, and currently this is just a perfect start on the CT side where Gabs is activating, Car as well putting pen to paper. So for MIBR, they really need to shut up this momentum sooner rather than later, as they notoriously have been very slow to warm up into maps in this series, and a Mirage that cost them as they, well, simply put, never warmed up.
All right, now we've got some real buys, some real guns on board. What can MIBR do with this? Been a little bit of a slow start to the map so far. Waiting for Olga to activate, waiting for Poppins to activate. This is what I was saying. This was Olga's playground for the longest time before she headed over to the APAC region. It was actually one of our talking points when we got to see HSG playing, and we were like, no Inferno? What? Like, because they just never played into it. Now that had always been Olga's, you know, favored terrain, to use a Dungeons and Dragons term. Now we get to see her back in that spotlight. But I think now when the pressure is so on, she's probably going to fall back into more kind of IGL responsibilities, not taking as many of these crazy early fights and crazy aggressions because they don't want to let this slip away.
What is
so
going
that they can
on?
maintain control here. I don't know, a little bit of a swappy.
We're having some fun.
Yeah, we you know what? It's the last day of the season, so, you know, have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously, guys.
It is silly season after all, so why not just really live up to the name? But this round is going to be ending towards the A bomb site. There's 3 defenders here. It's going to be a wrap, and Izzers just situating herself nicely onto that bomb site while Gabs gets aggressive, very solo on short. I'm not a fan of this. Gabs isolating herself, but she's standing like a rock. The queen of the A bomb site, but has she done enough? Certainly, yes. Rotations, though, being chopped down. Izza, 2 for her own. Luliten's up against Olga, but the bomb is dropped all the way round on short. There's no time, and Olga just has to scarper away with her tail tucked between her legs.
Oh, that's devastating. You were talking about has she done enough, and I thought, has she? I mean, Olga's on the site, and then I realized she didn't have the bomb. Unreal. Really devastating way for that round to go. And FURIA now up to a 3-point lead. We had a lot of questions about FURIA after their, opening performance in the season. But maybe they've learned a lot from those moments, trying to keep this as, tightly contested as possible. They managed to pull away a 13-3 victory. MIBR are really struggling to find a footing here onto this in Inferno. And unfortunately, that one saved rifle is all they're really going to have into this round. But Tech 9 rounds go hard. And I think we may yet see them pull something crazy out of the bag. Now, of course, it was FURIA on the previous map that did that. But any team is capable of it with the right incentive and the right smattering of utility. And there's a good little bit of util here to play off of. The question is, where? We're not going to go for crazy util towards, but not Jesus, Lord
God.
above. That is disgusting.
Both ways.
Okay. I mean, what the hell do you do at that point? Like, it's just, it was over before it even began, brother.
No. The deathly dance of util, but the kiss of death applied to MIBR. There's no real way into this round. And unfortunately, despite there being a lot of damage, there's no kills. And that's what the name of the game is. Why is everyone left B? Okay. Luliten's and Bazina have come back. They do have a combination of 7 HP. Luckily, though, some utility picked up in spawn, so a smoke to replenish. This does just hold them at bay. Olga has been joined up with Gabby. They have a single flashbang. I wouldn't be surprised if they just send Olga through, and they do. Drops the bomb on the way, but Izza's rotated in, and she's fully healthy, full HP. They know Gabby's here because she threw the flashbang, and yeah, looking to keep this absolutely flawless as FURIA, they are looking very prominent now on Inferno.
It's so crazy that everything could be kind of on its head in this series. And it's not just in our series, man.
Oh my god, wait.
Atrix for Magic 15-13.
Wait, okay, pause. I'm watching it on stream. It's a Ninja Fuse 1v2.
Oh
Okay,
my
no,
God.
never mind. Wrong round. No ninja.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, shout out to Parks Casts. He's everyone knows him in the ESL Impact sphere. Well, they should anyways. He's streaming that Atrix game, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. Because even though MIBR are being destroyed right now in Inferno, and Bazina just having their way with them on Banana,
God,
is it
dude.
going to matter? FURIA, they're trying their best, but as try as they might, Atrix, they're ticking their way towards a 2-0 against 4 Magic, and that could just seal the deal for who qualifies to Stockholm from the South America region.
this is heartbreaking. It's terrible when you come into a game and you're like, we need to win this, but we also need somebody else to lose. And so it doesn't come down to how you perform on this day. It's all about the performances that have led up to this day. And unfortunately, with them having lost to Atrix earlier on in the season, that puts them in a massively precarious spot. But we're not there just yet. They have a sizable lead now against MIBR. We'll see if they can nail this round or nail this map down.
Save, yeah.
Yeah, MIBR are just going to back away. So they do, in fact, nail the round down.
Yeah.
And the question just becomes about the map.
Sorry, the reason why I did a sharp exhale. New 408. Yeah. Okay, so that last round I was saying, I was like, Jesus, everyone's taken like 70 damage. There was 418 utility damage dealt in the previous round on Banana. To give context, you could very well have a map, maybe not Inferno, because it's Inferno. You could very well have a map where that is just the whole utility damage done in the whole game. Like, if that, 418. It was done in one round. And even in this previous round, there was loads of nades. FURIA, as, like, right now, as we're going into what would be round 8. Oh, sorry, we're going into round 8. FURIA have been winning out every time on Inferno Banana. They've just been winning every round on Banana. MIBR have been able to get no map control, and that's why we see them just getting no traction on the T side. Oh my god, Atrix won 2-0. Oh my god.
They did. They just won 2-0. They've done it. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Nobody told
Atrix
FURIA.
have made, oh my god. Atrix have qualified.
Well, again, we never want to say 100% until the admins have confirmed, because shenanigans do abound. But more than likely, Atrix will be heading to Stockholm. But we're not going to confirm that, guys. Don't quote us on this one, because we're just casters. We just yap about the game. But we will wait for that final confirmation to come through a little bit later on. For now, FURIA, utterly unaware, blissfully unaware, continuing to battle through this game. And a solid opening kill here from Car. Yes, it is a bit of a weird, janky buy from the MIBR squad, but there's an AWP on the board. And when there's an AWP in play, it's always a winnable scenario. An opening kill here from Danny gives them a little bit of leeway to play with on this site. Lulitens manages to shut down Olga. She's going to slip away slightly towards the coffin position. Shuts down Danny. We're not expecting her elevated up above. Poppins gets that kill, recovers the AWP, and is now going to try desperately to recover this round. Meanwhile, Gabby is literally in Narnia on her own. And the problem is that there's no one here to try to bait out a rotation. So it's going to have to be Poppins making her way all the way across. Does she... Oh, I thought that maybe there was a world where she gets caught in that rotation.
And Gabby has a smoke.
She's going to make her way in on towards the site. They will smoke off the library position, but look at where Gabs is coming in from. Poppins is repositioned. She already has an inkling and awareness. No, she loses the duel a little bit too slow on the uptick, and Gabs shuts her down. Gabby's now all alone in a 1 versus 3. The bomb has been planted. She has to fight valiantly to protect it. There are kits on board here, so FURIA can take their time to figure out how they want to mount this one. They do have utility available, but who needs it? Car playing the human flash. Gab shuts it down. The bomb to be defused. FURIA up to 7.
Car just doing her best Ashno impression real quick. Just like, meow. Just vroom, in the air. I want to highlight Lulitens there. If we get a replay of what she's just done, that was a B-side anchor masterclass, especially when her teammate dies so early on. Drops his defensive smoke, plays around it, gets dinked, repositions. Just MIBR have no idea what her next move is. That, to me, no notes. That was really perfect from Lulitens. A magnificent display of what an anchor should be doing. Gabs has crossed apartments. I think they have seen this. They seem to have a pretty good idea. She takes the duel anyways. Damage, no kill. Finally, Car breaks the deadlock and an opening kill onto Olga, and they're able to disengage out of apartments. Gabs, though, hanging around. Luckily, not penalized for that tardiness, as FURIA, they are looking unstoppable on Inferno.
Outstanding performance so far. We'll just kind of keep chipping away at the HPs with that utility. We do have a slight moment yet. FlyQuest have taken a 10-9 lead over Shimmer on map number 1. Remember, this is an epic grudge match for the North American squad. Shimmer kind of came out of nowhere and stole the crown away from FlyQuest and became the first North American team to make a grand final when FlyQuest had been trying so hard for 6 seasons to get there. So definitely a grudge match happening. We'll see if FlyQuest can take that one home. And the Capybaras are 4-1 up over Coralzinho on map number 2. So hope lives on a little bit longer in that situation. But how much more hope do MIBR have in this map? They make their way through. Luliten's in a perfect position, backed up by Vizina. But Danny cuts both of them down, shuts them out, opens up the site. Now, Carl will get oh God, of course it's onto Younger, bro. Just spam through the smoke onto her AWPing counterpart. Danny will get that bomb planted, but she's all alone. 13 HP. She's already done so much. She's managed to get 2 kills. She somehow has to shut MIBR out. Oh, sorry, shut FURIA out. All on her lonesome and cannot get it done. FURIA up to 8. There is no way that we have 2 back-to-back maps where FURIA win and MIBR don't even crack 5 rounds.
It's actually crazy how FURIA have just looked so good on Mirage and Inferno. Like even that, opening, they've got perfect aggression, tempered nicely with good utility to set themselves up. And then great B-hold once again, using a very technical word, the up-down setup. That is actually what I call it. Very
God,
technical.
No, you're one of those.
The up-down setup. I mean, it works on B, and it worked there. 2 kills. Like, FURIA are schooling MIBR right now. This was the half on LAN where MIBR came back. They did well on the T side. That was where they mounted it was a 5-11 comeback for MIBR on the T side. Currently, they can't even get 5 rounds, as you mentioned, and they are just forcing into this now. They get the bomb plant and they go, hey, screw it. Galil's a little bit of utility, and when FURIA go 3B and get the early control towards B, they can just rotate straight towards A, and Car ready and waiting to chop them down as they walk into her crosshairs. Oh, that's sharp.
God, is actually unreal. Car follows it up while full blind. It's not even the first full blind kill that she gets today. Just continuing to be a demon, a revelation for the FURIA squad. Now, MIBR, I mean, they have to put foot, they have to accelerate. They're going to accelerate straight into Gabs. Gabby's all alone now, up in the apartments, doesn't have control of the bomb, doesn't have control of her life. FURIA up to 9, and it's at a point now where it's, what do you do? Where do you go? What the plan is, boys, because... This is the run. Oh my God, FlyQuest won the first map. Holy, that's big. That's so big for NA. Shimmer, that is the 2nd map that they have lost all season. So that is a huge victory for the FlyQuest ladies.
I mean, like, as I've mentioned, this is silly season. FURIA decides they don't really want to show up whole season long. Almost lose to 4 Magic, lose to Atrix, and then after they've lost map 1, which means they eliminate the chance to qualify for Stockholm, they decide they want to play the best Counter-Strike I've seen since they lifted the trophy in Dallas. This is just a masterclass on exhibition right now. FURIA are battling through their demons, but it is unfortunately the epitome of a little bit too little too late. Sure, they're 9-1 up. This is just gorgeous Counter-Strike across the board. Like, everyone's worth their weight in gold right now on the FURIA roster. It doesn't matter. And this utility, every time on B, they're always doing significant chip damage.
Closer and closer now to the end of the half. 2 rounds remaining. FURIA want to make this 11-1. They don't want to give any space for MIBR to potentially mount a comeback. And it's amazing that FURIA, starting on the CT side, are doing this well, because we know that aggression, it's the South American way. As much as teams have started leaning into a more kind of slower approach, it's still the preferred way to battle. MIBR now, unfortunately, their aggression has been stunted in so many of these rounds. They'll start making their way in towards the bomb site. The bomb now has been planted. The Tech-9 do, in fact, make the magic happen. Danny has snagged an AK for herself, and there's a world here where FURIA just... Nah, I mean, they've got all the money in the whole damn world. It doesn't even matter that this is Inferno and it's a perpetual save map. They have nothing really to lose on this one and everything to gain. Unfortunately, doesn't look like gain is on the cards as Car now is left all alone. That bomb is about to explode, and she's just going to try to keep it as expensive as humanly possible. Slips away, not able to salvage that one. Ooh, Danny dying to the bomb is not great. Going to force that reinvest from MIBR, but they have so much money. It's the last round and a half. Who really cares?
Yeah, like that was a half by right, so they didn't fully put all their eggs in the basket. So coming out there with only one player alive is, all things considered, fine for MIBR. But what isn't fine is that they're just going to be from the frying pan into the fire, because FURIA, they have all the money in the world, and I don't think they're going to let a measly Tech-9 round really rock the boat too much, and they want to just stamp down and make sure they get back-to-back double-digit first halves, as even though their chances of defending their international crown may hang in the balance, they can at least go out in a blaze of glory.
That's such a, like, it's a consolation, but it's really sad. I mean, I just saw for Magic, they had posted on social media, you know, obviously the devastation at not being able to. And like, as much as, you know, it was a good performance from them, they didn't get to achieve what they wanted to. They came so close. They took Atrix into overtime. When it's
if you
at
look
this
at their results,
stage,
it's so hurts, because they should have beaten FURIA. They should have beaten MIBR, especially 3 overtimes against MIBR. They should have maybe got at least a map of Atrix. Like, they end ESL Impact Season 8 on just this, oh, what could have been? What could have been? Like, that is the real just what could have been.
Well, now we turn to the what will be. We're waiting to get confirmation on Atrix. The numbers crunchers are crunching away to give us an answer before we end off for the evening. Because, of course, no matter what, this will be the last map of South America in the online region. How crazy is that? As MIBR start making their way in, Poppins to get an opener, but does get traded out by Lulitens. But the site is open. The bomb can be planted. And we find ourselves in retake scenario. MIBR, again, a bare minimum round needed here to give them a little bit to pivot off of into the second half. And they make that dream a reality as Izza gets caught as the smoke begins to dissipate. Gabby brings it into a numbers advantage. Gabs has worked her way up Banana, does manage to get that trade back, then know where she is. She tries to change weapons. Dear God, woman, how have you done that? Manages to get the follow-up, but Danny's still alive on site, not counting for the banana push, unfortunately. But Danny's still here. Danny's still fighting for her life. A 3K will give MIBR that third round and maybe a chance in the second half.
2 a.m. in the morning, and your anxiety's calling. You lay in your bed, but it feels like you're falling. Do you recognize that feeling? The demons under your ceiling, when everything hurts and nothing is healing. Yeah, I don't even wanna be awake, cause every second that I live is like a wasting. Can you help me start a replace? All the memories that stand in my ways. You know what I really hate the most is that happens to me is like a ghost, it's so far away. Oh, you wanna be okay? Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me, why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for wanna sleep, but I just can't seem to set my mind at ease. I can find an escape. There are many doors I would take, but I can't make one of them become a way. So I'm drowning myself in the media, cause I don't wanna face what I'm fearing, yeah. I am scared of fighting this alone. I've tried to turn on the light, but my demons know how to hide. Lately there is just no end in sight. Tell me, why should I stay away? If only dreaming can erase the pain. Tell me, why should I waste another minute staying in this critical phase? I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. Some better days. Some better days. I'm just praying for some better days. That's how we like it. That's how this goes. Come on now, baby, let me ease your soul. That's how we live life. Live it up to the top. 'Cause once we start, you know we're never gonna stop. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time. We touch down every time. This is our time, hit it up with me, man. This is our turn to see.
Not quite the double digits half like Mirage, but FURIA, they are putting on a show. And MIBR, the hope is they just don't go out with a whimper. They came back on this map last time on LAN against FURIA. Are they going to replicate their same fortunes? Carr says otherwise. That's a pretty valiant opening kill. And the dual Berettas are just getting run down and mowed down. FURIA making short work of MIBR. But Olga, welcome to the A-bomb site. Okay.
Oh, double kill from her with the double trouble guns as well. Can we make it a third? No. Does get shut down. FURIA with their fourth. No, that maths. Sixth. Pistol round. They've won, no, fifth. Oh my goodness. They've won almost every single pistol. They've only lost one all night. And when it matters, when it brings them up to that double digit scenario, when it brings them one step closer to winning out a series, they do it again and in a amazing fashion. MIBR now in a very tight spot. Dear Lord, Freddy, the Capybaras and Coralzinho have gone 6-6.
Why aren't we watching that game? Who cares about FURIA MIBR? Coralzinho, Capybaras is
Everyone else in the world, Freddy.
Capybaras is where we should be at. It's all jokes. But FURIA, look, they're ending this on a supreme high. This is the type of performance that I was hoping we saw from them realistically many weeks ago. That's the issue. That we're heading out of this thinking this is just so good from FURIA. Like, this is the team that we saw win Dallas, bar for bar. Where was this at the beginning of the season? Like, was it complacency? Did they find their goal and achieve that and then maybe cool the jets? Because when you do hit number one, where you do achieve everything you've worked so hard towards, it can be hard to sometimes continue putting in the same effort maybe. But let's see if they can end this series on tip-top shape as they look to execute onto a B bomb site where Poppins has just put a very well-timed smoke down.
I'm gonna stall things out ever so slightly here. Buy them a little bit of time. That's exactly what they need. The util comes through. Beautiful clearing utility. Flushes players out of their positions, but Olga has found herself a nice little spot up on high. Only good for one, but Danny will help keep things close. Unfortunately, Poppins loses her life. That's the B site run over. These final three players need to try and make their way up Banana. Ring around the Rosie, getting in behind. But Danny's left all alone with 3 HP, dear God. Okay, somehow, why does this feel winnable? Oh, she turns away, but the timing does seem to be on her side. Throws down the smoke. Maybe it's a little bit of a bait, but Izza not falling for it. Doesn't matter. Danny with an amazing clutch under her belt. 3 kills in the round and the defuse to boot. Once again, MIBR with a stay of execution.
Half of MIBR's rounds have come from Danny in clutches. Like she's really trying her best. She's worth her weight in gold currently on Inferno. It's going to be a while, though, until I see that more than just oh, that's a nice clutch, you know, like that's really cool from Danny, but it is what it is, right? So there's a little bit longer. I mean, these are some really nice shots being landed, and she's got a really high clutch ability for maybe one of those younger and newer players. Like if you look at Poppins, Gabby, younger Olga, they've been around the block and around the scene, either together or in other teams. Danny's the newer name. And has just got such high clutch ability. Back over towards Banana and FURIA, both on CT and T, doing pretty good work on this part of the map. But in this occasion, Poppins accidentally just gets 2.
I love that it's like while she's jiggling and just kind of spraying, and I'm pretty sure I see her eyes move away before that last kill comes through. But either way, that's another round for MIBR. They're, okay, giving themselves a little bit of room to breathe here. Unlike what we saw on Mirage, where they won that force round and then instantly just got traded back and slapped back down into the dirt. They'll continue to keep this momentum going. And now the economic reset becomes a massive problem for FURIA because now it has to be a pistol round. MIBR staring down the barrel of a 6th round, and suddenly we're only at a 4-round deficit. Suddenly, this becomes a doable scenario. The big question is going to be what happens when FURIA actually have a bye. But for right now, MIBR are certainly in with a possibility.
FURIA actually lost to Atrix in an online tournament, an online qualifier for a LAN. The names slip me right now, but I'm pretty sure they all still go to LAN anyways because FURIA came 2nd, but Atrix come out seed 1. So I honestly thought MIBR were going to come in here like, you know, full steam ahead because of how FURIA have lost to Atrix and Impact in more regional Brazilian event, right? South American event. But today they're playing superbly, and this is just an eco, so this should be cleaned up quite nicely, and some ecos for Poppins, who's really struggled. She got the MVP on Ancient. Since then has been pretty vacant. CT side struggled on Mirage on B, and here has only 7 kills and has got 5 of them in the last 2. Bomb might get planted, and that's a worry. That shouldn't happen, but it is. Car 7 HP, and I don't know how she hasn't died from a wallbang there, but bomb down, great.
It's not even the first time that Car has managed to survive in unreasonable scenarios. The Gabby up close and personal with the smoke, gets hers before she's traded out, leaves Luliten's all alone, and she will get encircled upon, shut down, bomb to be defused. MIBR up to 6. Little bit more expensive than what they would have wanted. They'll obviously still be able to buy into the next round, so it's really not the end of the world. But for that long-term economy, well, this is the thing. I mean, they're going to have to spend everything but the kitchen sink into this round, and they can't afford to slip here. They can still buy into the next, so they're actually kind of still okay.
Yeah. MIBR, pressure still on them. Backs against the wall. This sort of pressure, are they going to shine like diamonds, or are they going to crack underneath it? Younger tries to go for an opening pick in middle. I like her. I like seeing her go for these type of plays, even when she's having a difficult series. Issue is, the pressure point is over towards B. Poppins is jumping and dabbing. Olga, though, stands like a rock. 5 HP. She's able to trade out her teammate and dish out extra damage with the utility and just fend off the aggressors.
Heroics, absolute heroics, are what is keeping MIBR alive in this series. Keeping them ticking over round after round. Unfortunately, it does need to be said. Younger, once again, still has not activated. I'm really surprised at the kind of drop-off we've had from her in this series. You know, the first map, there was like, oh, well, you know, they didn't really have a CT side, so...
It's ancient AWPing. It's hard. It's like the hardest map to AWP on, probably.
Sure. But then we get into, like, Mirage, we're on Inferno, like, it's just...
The Mirage, the excuse you could use is just no one did well with MIBR. I'm digging in. I'm getting all the excuses.
The cope is real. All right. Moving in onto site now. Gabby has to fall away, wait for reinforcements. Dying here would not be the play. Olga, unfortunately, ends up being the one to fall by the wayside. Okay, Younger. She heard us. It's like, shut up. I can hit a shot. She finally wins out the battle against Car as well. That's been the one that we've been really on her case about. She manages to get the kill onto Gabs as well. Luliten's in a very uncomfortable position, caught between a rock and a hard place as the smoke clears. Gabby shuts her out. And, I mean, I mentioned heroics. I didn't think it was going to be Younger, but she's done it. And she's made the round not only winnable, but won.
I didn't expect her to jump around a corner and go for... doesn't quite make sense to me when we watch this back. So firstly, it really has to be said that this B bomb site from both the attack and the defense has just been such a chasm for MIBR. Yeah, like that kill, by the way, like, okay, sure, I guess Call of Duty style, fair enough. But this B-bomb site, like MIBR, if they're going to Stockholm, Inferno is a map that I remember they knocked out Na'Vi Javelins on like 2 seasons ago to make it through to playoffs. But the issue is, this Inferno looks super weak, and specifically that banana. They're just being taken advantage of. FURIA looks so much more comfortable, and they're just catching them completely off guard. That can't be the case if they go to Stockholm. Like, that needs to fix up.
Three-round difference. And FURIA back down onto an unfavorable buy. 1 Mac 10 there. Sorry, Gabs is sitting on 22 and 8 at the moment. What?
Oh.
Talk about a silent assassin. Like, when did this happen, bro? I mean, we've spoken about Gabs a few times. I know that James Bardolph is a huge fan of Gabs as well.
In the second round, when she converted on the T side, after they lost a pistol, she got a 4K. So, yeah, maybe that.
That's crazy. Yeah, the 1 4K got her to 22 kills.
Yeah, that one. Shut up. I was giving examples to feed your narrative.
Ooh, into the smoke, recovers a rifle. Ah, gets spotted out by Danny. MIBR with the comeback of the century. 5 rounds that they have managed to string together in the second half. Brings them up to 8. Only a 2-round difference. FURIA now, the first gun round did not go their way. This will be their second... I think it's their second gun round. Because it's like the economy's been a little bit flip-floppy, wibbly-wobbly. And I don't really count the weird half buys. This is the first the second proper buy that we're seeing from the Panthers, who seem to have been declawed since we got into the second half. And, well, that trend may yet continue to pose a problem. Olga gets the first kill, doesn't take any damage, gets another as Poppins dies to make it a possibility. Why do they keep giving her ones? Freddy, why do they keep giving Olga ones? I'm so confused.
Well, it's just that they keep on thinking they have a timing. It's like, I've got a timing. No, you don't. Olga's holding you. You never have a timing against Olga. And poor Poppins just can't get a break. Like, they swing around the corner, first bullet headshot Poppins. Olga, they're just like, they're like stormtroopers. They're just shooting everywhere but her. Poppins is like, meow. First bullet headshot. But hold your horses. Olga's got 3 kills. Is that enough? Gabby at range dinks down the Goliath of Gabs. Bogdan's Law, AWP gets traded over, and Younger just holding at range, starting to pick up the pace a little bit. That's the second double kill coming out from her in back-to-back gun rounds, and all of a sudden, if we had our questions about, have Atrix made Stockholm, have FURIA done this, it's a 1-round game. Atrix, they might still be worried. We have our questions. FURIA, if they don't win this game, that's it.
MIBR, I am amazed that they've managed to mount this much of a comeback so far. And again, there is so much on the line right now. There's so much at stake. And FURIA are hoping against hope that they'll still manage to find their way to Stockholm at the end of this series. 1 round difference. And this should be MIBR evening out the scoreline as FURIA come into this. I mean, that was that second buy. That was that second big moment that they needed to turn the tides and to regain some of the momentum that they've had or that they brought over from Mirage. They slammed through that first half, 9-3. Nari's Law. Yes. It's no longer Zonic's Law. It's mine now.
I think you have more of a say, so... You've got more of a name in the scene, so yeah, I think, more.
Thank you. It's my law. And it does look like it's going to come to fruition here. Maybe getting a little bit ahead of myself. At the very least, as mentioned. The one rifle they had. Poppins has sat it down. And that should be that. We do have a bit of a
timing
stack.
as well.
Got a bit of a stack that's going to pop through apartment. No, not going to pop through apartment.
Yeah, Danny just dropped another smoke, and they don't have the utility to really go through this. They've got a smoke and a flash, so Gabs is going to drop the smoke on long. I thought she would have dropped that moto because, I mean, if that smokes moto, at least Younger won't have a say in the round. But now Younger can just snipe them down as they come out. They've got no flashbang. They're just jumping out to their grave like lambs to the slaughterhouse. And it goes as about well as you'd guess.
I really thought that was going to be a Gabby 3K, but no. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, okay. Free gun. That's maybe not, definitely not. Poppins had a little bit of a slower start to this map, but good to see her kind of finding a similar form to what we saw earlier. Remember, she was our MVP on the first map. Had a phenomenal performance there. And then everybody kind of fell off a cliff for the second map. But in this resurgence, we're seeing Poppins start to come alive a little bit. Olga and Danny have really been doing a lot on this map, though, between the two of them. I was talking about the heroics that were keeping MIBR alive, particularly in that first half. And that's what they've needed so desperately to keep this kind of ticking over. Now we have rifles again for FURIA. We're running out of opportunities, running out of chances. Car catches Olga through the smoke, spots the barrel, and it's perfectly timed. With Olga shut down, now we have an opportunity. FURIA finally have something to try to springboard off of, so they're going to slow down ever so slightly. Try and deny some of that information. See if they can catch MIBR getting a little bit paranoid, a little bit antsy, and pushing out unnecessarily. But MIBR making the right call here to play a little bit safer. They know that they're at a player disadvantage, and why would you push that unnecessarily?
This is really interesting. So Younger's rotated towards B and alleviated Poppins of her post. Poppins has left what util she had of Younger, but Younger's not dropping it. Younger's just holding with the AWP, where the rifles then get re-aggressive towards brackets. They confirm that, hey, it's not A. Younger then drops her utility at the 50-second mark. That nade is going to do so much damage. Bazina barely alive, but FURIA, they're going through us. And the AWP, this might be difficult, has to hit the first shot, and she does. Gabs, though, on the lurk. Are you kidding me? They light up for her, and the espionage couldn't be any more prolific.
Oh my God, what a way to turn the tides of war. It has taken so many rounds. 7 rounds. Okay, that was like 1 round, smattered in there somewhere that FURIA were able to win. But for the most part, 7 rounds for FURIA to finally find their footing again, to finally wake up and to show some signs of life. And in such a dominant, dynamic fashion as well. That brings Gabs up to 26 and 11. Casually. And FURIA find themselves in the lead once again. They've been in the lead for an incredibly long time. Basically since the start of this map. It got evened out, and that's where FURIA pumped the brakes and decide to stop MIBR in their tracks. But can they hold on to this little bit of momentum? Remember, MIBR built up so much money for themselves. They're still in this, and Gabby taking a little bit of a leaf out of Gabs' book.
Crazy.
That is a nasty little angle there. And it pays off. She gets that first kill onto Gabs. She takes a lot of damage for it, though.
no.
Unable to escape. Shot in the back. Somehow Younger is able to get away. But that's going to leave, you know, what was an advantage back down onto an even kilter. And Danny, unfortunately, took a lot of damage in the early round as well. So she's going to be forced to have to play a little bit more safely. Whereas FURIA now have a lot more room to play with.
It's just a set, like a set piece for MIBR that just it doesn't feel like it's fully fleshed out. And now because of it, they have no map control. They don't have any control towards brackets. That's caused Poppins to rotate away. Olga's left all by her lonesome, has a smoke. There's still one up at top banana. So time is ticking down a little bit. And when this smoke drops, Olga's going to be able to waste some time. But FURIA, they still have 40 seconds left. And actually, this could be really scary. This smoke's going to go down at 30 seconds. They're stuck behind the smoke. They have to go through it. Olga is by herself. That is the issue, though. So if they go through this, she's not actually going to be able to contest. She's not playing for that. So she's just playing for the full retake. Blinded as well. Spam. Oh, wait, they go before the smoke. CT blooms. So because of that, she evens up the kills. And MIBR, with a player advantage, can now set up a retake.
Oh, Spam through the smoke. Doesn't deny the bomb from being planted, but gives MIBR even more room to work with here. These last two players have to mount somewhat of a miracle. Castle coming up from Banana, and she's coming up with an AWP as well. Bazina gets hers. Car has been outstanding the whole freaking night, bro. How has she done that? She is inhuman with the way that she plays with that AWP. An incredible performance between Car and Bazina to lock down that site, lock down that round, and put them on map and series points.
It's official. It's been posted. Atrix Esports are going to the ESL Impact Stockholm Finals. As much as there's hype around this game, we got to give massive credit over to the underdog squad. My favorite team, our favorite team. It's crazy. They've posted it. It's official, right? FURIA, they're fighting as try as they might. They're putting on a masterclass. And it's a great performance from Car. Overtime, though, still a possibility for MIBR.
Oh, man. Devastation looming on the horizon. If they win this, win the series, only to find out on the other end that it was all for naught. Heartbreaking. But as you said, MIBR can still battle this back. They can still take us into that overtime scenario. There is a world in which this just keeps going forever. North America can wait. Speaking of, looks like Shimmer is currently winning on map number 2. Last check it was at a 4-1 in their favor. But of course, if they win that map, they're going to be going to a third map. So everything to play for here across the board in every single region. As Izza gets a nice little kill there. But the MIBR have this site on lock between Danny and Poppins. No one is allowed in. No one is allowed the space to play. Bazina, of course, has been phenomenal, and she's going to get a double for herself, but that's going to leave Car all alone, and she's going to have to fight back against these last two. Oh my god, Car! There's no way! There's no way! She's trying to go for another flick, brings it to the 1 versus 1, knows where Younger is! Oh my god, Car! You absolute monster! 2 rounds where it's the AWP that makes absolute magic happen. I am so impressed with the resurgence that we've seen from Car to bring FURIA into winning out in this series against their